He has instructed that under the big push, this bridge would have to be done to connect the south and the north, as you can see. The potentials are great, and this bridge, when done, connects eastern region, Ashanti region, OT, in a very strategic way to open up the place for big time agriculture and investment in agro-processing and others.
Across the still waters of Lake Volta, in the heart of Ghana's eastern region, a silent transformation is underway. For decades, the majestic expanse of the Volta River has shaped life, culture, and commerce. It has connected communities and nourished lands. But for all its beauty, the lake has also presented a persistent challenge, one of movement, trade, and access. For generations, travelers heading north or south through the eastern corridor of Ghana have faced a bottleneck. The Adomi Bridge, built in 1957 at Atimpoku, stood as the sole major crossing point. A marvel in its own right, the Adomi Bridge carried the hopes and ambitions of a newly independent Ghana. But as the decades wore on, as vehicles grew in number and loads grew heavier, the single bridge became strained. What once represented progress began to reveal the limits of yesterday's infrastructure. Today, Ghana is rising to meet that challenge. In one of the most ambitious infrastructure endeavors in the nation's recent history, the country is preparing to construct a new bridge across Lake Volta, one that promises to be the longest road bridge in the country and among the longest in West Africa. It is called the Volivo Bridge. Spanning an estimated 540 meters, the Volivo Bridge will connect the communities of Volivo and Dambai, forming a vital link along the Eastern Corridor Road network. But this project is more than steel and concrete. It is a symbol of connectivity, opportunity, and forward-thinking development, a link not only between regions, but between the Ghana of today and the Ghana of tomorrow. The Volivo Bridge is part of a broader national strategy, one that aims to enhance trade, improve mobility, and reduce the socioeconomic divide between Ghana's northern and southern territories. As trucks, buses, and private vehicles continue to make the long journey from the port cities of the south to the inland markets of the north, the need for modern, durable transport infrastructure becomes clearer with each passing day. Currently, vehicles traveling from Accra or Tema must rely almost exclusively on the Adomi Bridge to access the Volta region and beyond. With increasing congestion, travel times have lengthened and economic losses have mounted. The Volivo Bridge will ease that burden. It will offer an alternative route, reduce travel time, and open up underdeveloped areas along its path. For many communities that lie in its shadow, it will mark the end of isolation. The bridge, when complete, will not simply be an architectural statement. Its design will feature a dual carriageway, pedestrian walkways, bicycle lanes, rest zones, and lighting systems, making it a modern, inclusive, and future-ready piece of infrastructure. The central span of 280 meters will be suspended in a cable-stayed style, flanked by two approach spans of 96 meters each. In total, the structure will stretch more than half a kilometer across one of Africa's largest man-made lakes. But how did this vision take shape? The idea for the Volivo Bridge was first conceived as part of Ghana's Eastern Corridor Development Program, a master plan aimed at transforming the road network linking the Greater Accra, Volta, Odi, Northern, and Upper East regions. Recognizing the Adomi Bridge's limitations, government planners sought a second major crossing point, one that could integrate seamlessly with surrounding roads and provide greater resilience for national logistics. The government of Ghana turned to a long-standing partner, Japan. Through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, known as JICA, funding and technical expertise began to take shape. In 2016, Japan signed an agreement to finance the project through a concessional loan package of over $100 million. The terms were generous, a 0.1% interest rate, a 10-year grace period, and a 40-year repayment window. From the start, the bridge represented more than financial calculus. It was a gesture of friendship between nations. It was also a recognition that infrastructure, when done well, can uplift lives. The design, handled in part by Japanese engineers in collaboration with Ghanaian consultants, took into account not only the geography of the lake, but also the lives of those who lived along its banks. Over the years, delays occurred. Cost escalations, currency fluctuations, and the global disruptions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic all contributed to a slower than expected pace. But in June 2025, a new chapter opened. In a diplomatic meeting between Ghana's Minister for Roads and Highways and Japanese government officials, a renewed commitment was made. Japan would continue to support the bridge, additional funding would be secured, and a technical team was dispatched to assess the final construction requirements. As it stands today, preliminary roadwork surrounding the bridge site has already begun. The Asutsuare Volivo Aveyimi corridor is being upgraded to accommodate increased traffic flow, while engineers continue their surveys and prepare the grounds for major civil works. Environmental assessments have been completed. Compensation for displaced communities is under review. Slowly, the vision is becoming reality. The Volivo Bridge, once complete, will reshape trade routes. It will enable faster, safer, and more reliable movement of agricultural produce, building materials, and industrial goods between Ghana's coastal ports and its landlocked northern hinterlands. It will also facilitate regional trade with countries like Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, making Ghana a more efficient transit hub for West Africa. Beyond economics, the bridge will touch lives. For school children who now take canoes to reach classrooms, it means safer travel. For traders who lose hours in traffic, it means greater productivity. For ambulances trying to save lives, it means quicker response times. For tourists seeking new paths to adventure, it means expanded horizons. The project also represents an evolution in how Ghana builds. With its cable-stayed structure and advanced engineering techniques, the Volivo Bridge pushes the boundaries of local expertise. It is a training ground for Ghanaian engineers, welders, and site managers who will one day lead even more ambitious projects. It is a symbol of what is possible when international cooperation meets local resolve. But even as plans proceed, challenges remain. The construction of large-scale infrastructure in environmentally sensitive areas demands care. The Volta Lake is not only a transportation barrier, it is also an ecosystem. Fisheries, wetlands, bird habitats, and water resources must all be protected during and after construction. This has led to detailed planning around sediment control, water flow, and shoreline rehabilitation. Social dynamics also need attention. Some communities near the bridge have raised concerns about compensation, land access, and disruption to traditional livelihoods. Government agencies have committed to inclusive stakeholder engagement, but the success of this promise will be measured in how fairly and transparently grievances are addressed. Despite these challenges, the mood surrounding the bridge is one of optimism. For residents of Volivo, Dambai, and surrounding areas, the anticipation is palpable. There is talk of new businesses, improved schools, and upgraded health centers. Investors are eyeing the corridor for real estate, warehousing, and tourism opportunities. For many, the bridge is not just a road. It is a lifeline. Internationally, the project is being watched with interest. As nations across Africa embark on bold infrastructure plans, from Nigeria's railways to Kenya's expressways, Ghana's Volivo Bridge serves as a case study in mid-scale, high-impact construction. It demonstrates how strategic investments, when guided by long-term thinking, can drive development without overburdening national debt or alienating local populations. At its core, the Volivo Bridge is a response to one of the most fundamental needs of any society, the need to connect. To connect people to jobs, farmers to markets, children to schools, patients to hospitals, and travelers to destinations. It is a bridge across water, yes, but it is also a bridge across time, linking the aspirations of Ghana's past with the ambitions of its future. Already, visual renderings of the bridge show a stunning structure, with sweeping cables, well-lit lanes, and gently arched profiles that mirror the flow of the river below. Drone footage of the planned site reveals how seamlessly the bridge will blend into the natural landscape, minimizing environmental footprint while maximizing accessibility. Government officials have hailed the project as transformative. They say it will define a new era of infrastructure in the Volta Basin. They speak of how it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly in reducing inequality, boosting economic growth, and building resilient infrastructure. And they speak with pride about how Ghana is learning not just to build, but to build better. In a world where many infrastructure projects are marred by delays, corruption, or poor planning, the Volivo Bridge offers a refreshing counter-narrative. It is being developed with transparency, international oversight, and community input. It represents a shift away from quick fixes and towards sustainable solutions. As construction begins in earnest, attention will turn to timelines, budgets, and execution. It is expected that once fully funded and operationalized, the bridge will take approximately 3 years to complete. That timeline may shift, but what will not change is the importance of the project. The stakes are high, but so is the potential. One day soon, vehicles will glide across the Volivo Bridge under morning skies and evening sunsets. Boats will pass beneath it as commerce flows across its decks. Tourists will photograph its elegant lines. Students will write essays about its impact. And Ghana, once again, will demonstrate that it is not content to rest on the legacy of past achievements. The nation is building forward, building smarter, building with vision. And the Volivo Bridge stands as proof of that promise, a rising arc of possibility across the calm waters of Lake Volta. 5,000 words. Documentary, factual, inspiring. Style, continuous, no chapters or breaks. Purpose, suitable for voiceover with visuals